October 1st, November 5th, starts at 6 p.m. There are games upstairs in the hall. Nancy S. shared some programs that they do at the Levittown Library. One is saving cash receipts from ShopRite or Giant. Dawn will contact the stores to see if we can participate. Also, there was a flyer with the various programs they did this spring. One was the flea market, but they have the space and a very large contingency of friends of the library. Rachel was talking to the assistant librarian at the high school, and she said she would like to work with our library and also pass out the various flyers with the activities. Motion to adjourn, all ayes, meeting adjourned at 7:53. Any discussion on that? Can we have a motion to accept?
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. All approved?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that's that one. Now, we all should have a copy of the...
March.
Yeah, that was May. May. So we should all have a copy of the library report. I don't have the minutes.
And I'm going to read the minutes too, that,
Okay.
even though it's not like official, I mean, I think we can.
Can we do May?
Wasn't enough.
Do you have May?
May minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were sent
I
in.
don't have a copy, but I know they were sent out. I just don't have one with me.
You want to,
Because that was the librarian one.
Judith?
Oh, could be. Oh, that's what I just read.
I can,
These are the minutes I just read. My apologies.
Do you need March?
No, I'm good now.
Okay.
So the...
Too many papers.
June 11th, Monday, yes, meeting opened at blank because we were waiting to open and no one, we had in attendance Diane Hughes, Nancy Charlotte, Judy Miller. Excused Dawn and Mary Morris, both were sick. Meeting was canceled due to lack of attendance. No quorum. Meeting was never opened.
I think you emailed me that, didn't you?
Yes.
And I could not find it. I apologize for not getting it out to everybody.
I can send it again if you like.
If you do, I'll just
I mean, just
email it
we
to
have have it for the
everybody.
record, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're all caught up, is that right? Librarian's report. Okay, so now we're going to be doing the librarian's report for
Current,
September.
right?
Yeah, the current one for September 10th.
Okay.
So this one is the current one, the long one, versus the shorter one?
You said you added something?
Oh, this is the current one. The only
Okay.
thing yeah, you got it. The current one says next Morrisville Library Executive Board meeting is.
All right, so let's look over the September 10th librarian's report.
I like to get the librarian's report out early so that you all get a chance to read it. Because I think it's difficult to.
Have you fixed the time clock yet?
No,
They try.
they took it as a matter of fact. We don't have it right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Is the active shooter, is that happening here or?
It was him. It's yeah. Which I'm looking forward to. They've been very good training sessions the last couple of years. And I'm going to build a bot, whatever that is. But it's an all-day thing with all the libraries invited.
Diane, just one question. You're having your library movie night and library Halloween party on the same day?
No.
So,
No.
okay, so,
Thursday, the Halloween party is Thursday the 25th.
okay.
Okay.
And then the library movie night is Friday after the
Right.
26th. Okay, got it.
And we
Charlie Brown movie?
Yes.
the Great Pumpkin.
That's a great movie.
Never seems to get old, I
I
don't
know, I
know.
love it. I still watch it. I love it.
And I'm recruiting volunteers for the Halloween party because we are overwhelmed.
We were slammed last year.
Slammed is a
It
good
was
word.
crazy. It was crazy.
And Sue said, if you want to come, you know, you can, because she sets up different games and different, she says, but if you have an idea of your own game that you want to do, you're more than welcome. Just, you know, let her know.
The only thing that I could suggest for it is making it a one-way.
Right.
Yeah, that was kind of nuts.
Yeah, there was
Right.
kids going this way.
Well, we didn't expect that many because we never had that many before.
There was
And I think you probably need more food. to get it.
Yes, we ran out of
We
food,
ran out really
yes.
quickly
We
of
did, yeah.
snacks for the kids.
Yes. Yep.
All right, so any discussion on the board, the librarian's report? Any questions, comments?
I just wonder, you probably talked about this last time you had a meeting. Does our budget have an accommodation for this additional, will we have an accommodation for that when we go forward to the borough for this additional $375 charge per item that we ordered? That's
No.
steep.
Yes.
That's really steep, and you would figure
Means less books.
how many estimates, how many of everything that you get? It's in the, it's 20,000 maybe?
We're gonna,
Well, this is basically, I believe, just on books.
Just
So
on
it won't be
books.
movies or audio or CDs.
So
It's
books
just books,
about-
but it's all books.
And excuse me, and is it just Baker and Taylor or is it other publishers?
We only go
You're
through
only
Baker
gonna
and
be getting
Taylor.
Baker and Taylor?
That's all we do now. We only
And
get
we're
through
not
Baker and
allowed
Taylor.
anymore. That's basically what's happened, right? It's a live system-wide
Yeah,
yeah.
yes,
decision
yes.
that you
Yeah,
can't use
yeah.
Baker and Taylor?
now we can jump out of this contract and find our own contract, but why would we do that?
But then you don't get
Because
the
we don't get the
discounts.
discount, we
Because you're
don't.
not part of the larger library system.
Yeah,
Right.
No.
Right, right.
And
So the Bucks County Library only orders from Baker and Taylor?
Yes, yes. As far as I know, I mean, that's,
Right.
yeah, that's
So this is
the
an
ordering I've been
additional
doing.
charge per book?
Yeah.
Yes,
because the processing, you buy a book and then it has to go through the library processing. It has to get cataloged, it has to get, and that function that the umbrella of Bucks County Library used to do for everybody, they're getting out of that business.
But
So Baker-
somebody is doing it through the system.
Baker and Taylor's
Baker
doing
and
it
Taylor
now.
is doing
Oh,
it.
Baker and
Yeah.
Taylor.
The books will be
Why can't it be
shipped
done
directly
here?
to us.
Yep.
Can't be done in-house?
It can't be done here?
Oh, it's,
No.
that would
Well, my
add
question,
so
let me
much.
re-ask the question. Can it be done, but it's not wanted? I guess that's what I'm saying. I've done that when I worked for the library. We ordered the books, they came in, we cataloged them, put them in the computer, we put plastic on the outside of them. I'm just asking, is it something that it's not done? Is that why they're doing it?
We have done it, but it's a tremendous job.
So you would
We'd have
need
to hire
use staff.
somebody,
You
yeah.
would need staff.
Typically, how many books a year do you order?
I've never counted.
Thousands?
Probably.
Just curious,
Um,
yeah.
In the,
Yeah, because I'm just
20,000
thinking,
worth?
what's it, 20,000 times 3 and 375, that's
Well,
Significant.
That's a
lot of
chunk of
money.
change.
But I think the point too is that you don't do as much with books as you do with the CDs and the audio, right?
really DVD.
DVD.
Yes. And DVD and new fiction are basically
What goes out?
what goes out.
And the other thing
does
that
come through Baker and Taylor as well?
Yes, but that will still be going through, yes, the county.
We
Yes.
hope.
Well, that as far as I mean, last I heard, that is still, it's just print material.
The other concern is that if we go outside of Doylestown or out of the county library, we may not be able to participate in the library cataloging that is set up through the county, and that would entail, we would be exempt from that, and that might entail us
But you don't
having
know
to.
that for sure.
Don't know that for sure, that's something that Diane can find out. But if we did that, that would really make even more work for having to create a new catalog just for our library. There's advantages to being part of the larger system.
And there's no volunteers that would be?
We don't
tried
have
to
any
get
volunteers.
But they're very few, and they don't last. We've had some interns in the summer mostly, things like
Yeah.
that. So that's certainly something that needs to be.
And something has to be consistent, even if somebody volunteers.
Yeah, it has to
Yeah.
be, because once you get them trained, you don't.
That
have
would
to
jump
go
us right out of the
The problem also is
Bucks County
Which
route.
is not desirable.
I don't think that's desirable.
I don't know at the moment if, like you used to be able to send gift books up to Doylestown. So say I ordered books from out of the county and it was books that the county that didn't order through Baker and Taylor. I don't know, we're not allowed to do our own cataloging. So if I have a stack of books and I can't send them to Doylestown, they're basically just sitting there and they can't go out.
And we're also not, we have a different standing with the Bucks County Library than others do because we're so independent. So,
So if you look on the website, there's, I can't remember the two names of them, there's like, what are they, Diane?
Branches
Branches
and community
and
libraries.
So we're a community, we're not a branch. So we have some more autonomy, whereas the branch libraries are like basically the same thing as the Doylestown Library, but the community libraries are more independent, and they're also the smaller ones, like, I don't know, what's the other
Isn't
one?
Grundy, isn't that an independent?
Yes,
That's a
it
branch.
is, yes.
Is that branch too?
Yes.
Fosington.
No, Grundy is a
Grundy's
community.
a community?
Grundy is,
I
yeah,
always thought Grundy, but yeah, it was a community.
Yeah, Grundy's community.
but
And
they
then
also,
there's
But they also
sole
have,
benefactor.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
They don't need
they,
anybody.
they're not like any other community library.
They got Grundy money.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
got Grundy money.
Well, I just
No, it's a good- it's a very
moving
good point.
forward that we can,
It's $5,000 of the cost if we have $20,000 to spend. You're spending $5,000.
Now, the good thing is, the processing fee will count as our materials line in the annual report.
It comes out of the book budget, basically.
It comes out of the book budget.
Yeah, yeah.
So we don't have to find an extra $5,000 to put in the book
So that means
budget.
we're getting $5,000 less books.
Less books, yeah.
but we
Yeah.
will have 5,000 less, yeah. books.
Okay.
Okay.
But we
That's
can also,
something to-
I mean, not to,
Oh,
but
no.
we can also look into, you know, are our CDs going out? If our CDs aren't going out, then we don't need to order CDs anymore. Are the audiobooks going out? If they're not going out, you know, maybe do away with something like that.
So adjust the
Again,
order.
not a lot of nonfiction goes out. It's more fiction. So maybe, you know,
Yeah,
look into
it's-
something like that. We may have to do that.
It's definitely a curve,
Who's
learning
going for the
curve.
training? You or Dawn?
Sue and I will
Dawn.
go.
Sue and Dawn?
Yeah.
Well, keep us posted on what you think we as a board
Can do to help.
can do, whether it's going to the council, you know. I mean, we
Budget time's
do.
coming, we can ask for more money, so.
Right.
Right, because if we feel that 20,000 minus 2.
I can
Minus
also
five.
try to put an estimate together of, you know, how many books we use by next meeting, to give you an idea of how many books I order throughout the year.
And if you could also find out if it's just itemized on the books, or is it also on the DVDs?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will check, but I'm pretty sure
Answer on that.
that I read read the email and it
DVDs
said,
sent.
yeah, it
Okay.
wasn't, it was just print material, but I will check.
Thank you.
I don't know what this is, April 2000, what is this? 2018, 2642, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, that's it. So this is the number of books that were in circulation
Oh,
for the
okay.
month of April and for the month of May.
Yeah.
And then it's broken.
So this is, I don't remember what.
Easy as kids, right?
Okay.
There's the circulation numbers.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Any other discussion points, comments?
I really want to get started with, I mean, with the training, because I want to get a handle on exactly what's going on. And that's supposed to be in November.
Training for,
This new
Book ordering.
book ordering.
gotcha. Yep.
Any more discussion on this? All right, may I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
All right, second?
Second.
Okay.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Oh,
Thank you. All righty. Library board terms and schedule, Diane? I don't think you have anything
Where
on
are
that.
we?
We're at number
Library
4.
board terms.
Library board terms
Oh.
and schedule.
I just gave these to everybody, so that you can keep them in your records. Sue Knott sent them to me, and the top paper still has Vic and Fred on there, and then the bottom paper, which is behind this,
Right.
has an updated. So every now and again, we have
I think mine's different than that one. This is the one I got from,
oh, where'd you get that?
I don't remember.
Which one's
Everybody
that?
keeps sending me stuff. It's either Sue or what, somebody from the
Sue may
council
have.
maybe, I don't know.
Sue may have.
Is that more updated than this
Yeah,
one?
it is.
It even looks like a crisper copy, yeah.
It's this.
Yeah.
And then
It's-
back here we have,
Yeah.
This?
Yeah, but this is all.
If you
these-
turn
I got an
that-
old version of
If you
it.
turn that over, Judith, that's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
she's looking at.
Yeah, that's.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, 'cause
Do we
that's
need
the
to vote on
library.
this then, since it's an agenda item?
I just wanted everybody to have a copy because there's always questions
That's good to have.
This is just,
coming up about that.
I mean, what,
When would
I
you
just to
in case
give everyone a
if
heads
somebody's
up,
running late or something?
I will not be keeping my seat.
Yeah, I'm just, me neither.
Yeah, you're,
I already submitted my letter of resignation to Borough.
oh, so I should probably do that soon so that they know.
So my last official, I mean, I wanted to come to this meeting because I saw we were reorganizing, I figured it'd be a good time to come and get that done, and then, so that my official last day is like the 30th, not that anything will happen,
The 30th of,
of September.
oh,
So,
really? Yes. Oh, Judy.
No, yeah, so I'm only cutting it short a year.
Okay.
well, what's the point
Well,
of, okay, but
6
then,
months.
what's the point of reorganizing if we're going to have 2 possibly new members?
you're gonna have 3.
You're gonna have,
Well, I mean, you need to have somebody to run the meeting next month.
Yeah.
No, I know that, but would there be another reorganization, say,
Might be
if
then,
3 more
so you
people
could
are
have an
appointed?
interim, You know, that'll be something
Interim
we can
board?
discuss about how
Okay.
that works, who's going to be running, who's going to do
Right.
those things. So,
Okay.
but,
Now, according to the bylaws, we should have been
yes, ma'am.
reorganizing every 2 years. But
Sorry?
we like,
It should be staggered, yeah.
yeah.
I don't want to jump order here,
Okay.
but I did want to mention that the bylaws that were submitted are not the current bylaws.
No, they're from 2008, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
the
They
current
are?
bylaw- yes,
Okay.
the current bylaws, we discussed these when I first started, and they were from 2014.
Those are not,
These are the most current bylaws.
Yeah, I went down to Borough Hall to
actually,
get
they're
them.
not. Those are not, never approved by the council.
Then they're not.
They're not. I know for a fact they're
These
not.
when you were on council?
I'd have to check it out.
Nope, they weren't. I already talked to council. I was given the 1998. These are the ones.
The last current set is 98.
It's the last.
That happened,
Approved.
Can I tell the story?
Please do.
I contacted the Debbie Smith, the president of the council, to find out which bylaws are current. And what they did with the 2014 bylaws, what we didn't do, was they had to be presented to the council, and then the council had to ratify and vote on them. We voted on them.
I remember
And-
something, and the board did not. Something got,
Well, we
something
also
ended up.
submitted the meeting room policy and the behavior policy.
That's what it was.
And none of those
And
were
none
voted on
of
either.
them, they didn't want to approve anything
So-
with that.
To be honest, and speaking on or off the record here, I think this board is useless because the borough won't approve anything we put forward. So it's kind of a waste of time.
but the last time you tried was 2014.
Yeah, that was 4 years ago.
No, we did something in 2016. We submitted a behavior policy and a meeting policy, and still those sat there. So
Yeah.
I stopped bothering because if borough isn't going to bother with what we submit, then there's no point in submitting anything. I'm
And
not
I
wasting my time.
understand, and I appreciate that, but I think now because there's a little bit of a change that it would warrant us to do a follow-up and submit, because if these are not current, what's the point? How can you have anything You can't function.
I totally agree.
So
And
that
if
we
all
need
want
to
do
submit
that,
something.
so I'll send you what I've got, and you can go ahead and revise it and submit it.
That's
Here's a
fine.
question, why didn't the Borough Council send a letter to us or to Diane, letting her know that these haven't been completed?
I was under the assumption that they were completed, that they were
Not
accepted
completed,
by
but
borough.
we're not
The borough
accepted.
that approved
What the
it.
borough
Minutes.
did, Debbie said, was voted on a change in policy because the 2000, well, see, that doesn't, anyway, the 2014, the big difference in the bylaws of 2014 and 2098 were how people were assigned to the board. And the 2014 was a stipulation that there should be 2 council people on the library board at all times. So, since the 2014 bylaws were never ratified and voted on by the council, they could automatically revert to the 1998.
What about the 2008s? That's the one you gave us tonight.
No, there's 98, not 08.
It's cut off.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to see it, but yeah.
Yeah,
It's 08 at the bottom.
It
yeah.
says 08.
Mine says 08. Oh, you know what? It could be a 9.
And
It's
so,
hard to tell if it's a 9 or
Yeah,
it's.
yeah, it's cut off. Yeah, you're right.
See?
so when
Okay, yeah, see,
I
mine's
was
kinda
talking to
cut
Debbie,
off
she
at the
said
bottom.
that how the council appoints members on the library board reverts back to the 1998. However, she said, it is open-ended in that if we need somebody, we need a body for a quorum, and there are no applications for the board, they could always assign a council person to sit on there so that we could have a quorum.
Right.
So
Makes sense.
that,
Well, that would have to be in writing. That would have to be in the bylaws to be able to do that. You can't just assign somebody from the council.
well, they would
Unless it's
look at
written.
it as though it was somebody from
From the community,
the
right?
community.
Right.
Yeah, she said, if there's somebody in the community that wants to sit on the library board, and she would rather them sit on it. And I know at one point, we were this was years ago, but we were kind of stumbling with, I think, 2 vacancies for a very long time. And this is when Dottie was
I
there.
filled one of them.
Yeah, but there were,
There was a young guy that just, he couldn't fill the
His name was
position.
Steve. I think.
Something
He was
like
the
that,
treasurer or secretary for a while. The whole concept of having council on this board is that this is a council, this is a borough property with the borough financials. The borough, I mean, so
Yeah, we
I
just
didn't
encountered that
understand why
earlier when we
council.
were discussing the budget. I mean, I was going to recommend, I'm not going to be here, so it's up to you all what you decide, but I was going to recommend the inclusion of at least one council member that can kind of be our communicator between council and
Liaison.
here.
But-
Yeah, liaison, exactly.
Liaison, right.
And I will say
and-
one thing, when we had council people on our board, things did get moved quickly.
When we had.
They were the go-between.
And they also could answer questions that we didn't know
It
about
was brought
policy
up
and things.
immediately.
So that was useful to have as well.
Do they come to a lot of meetings?
Yeah, Fred and
every
Nancy,
meeting.
when they were on council, they came to every
Every
single.
Oh, so you're not
Fred-
talking
Fred
real
never-
recent, you're talking way back when?
No, we're
No,
not
is
way
I see
back
absent and absent.
Fred
No,
was
we're
here,
talking.
well, I think I don't know when he was asked to leave, but he wasn't here at the last one because he wasn't a member anymore, but he was at the one before that.
Fred was here
all
and
the
around the
time.
book sale that just happened. So, yeah,
Book
he's
sale.
been very here.
Yeah, he's been very,
Vic
Vic doesn't come.
we didn't
Well,
see,
he's not
yes.
here.
Yeah,
But,
He was here a number of times.
He
Maybe not
was.
much last year, but.
I mean, I'm not slamming anybody for coming or not coming, I'm just saying, I didn't see that there was a whole lot of, all right, what's the right word, need?
Well,
for
we also,
them to be here? Because it seemed like everybody else was just taking.
Well, they were
this
members,
is-
they had to be here, they were a member, they
What-
should be here.
Once there was any kind of maintenance problem, okay, for example, Fred would go right down, and correct me if I'm wrong, okay?
Nancy too,
Yeah,
The next
and
one.
Nancy as well.
yeah.
That's right, and they would take care of it, and we had maintenance people up here immediately for you
Nice.
guys.
Good.
It was a communication
and like you said, a liaison.
bridge.
Right.
That was really useful to have that.
It
Well, we
was.
could still ask them if they want to be a
They were
liaison.
considered a member, but they could operate as a liaison for us.
They had an extra function to their,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, so it was just useful, I mean, I would just recommend moving forward that it might be worth
Gotcha.
considering
Great.
to have at least one council member on board here
It's a
to
little
help with
upsetting
that
to
communication.
me that we're having this conversation now about the not being ratified, number one.
Yeah, I really thought they were,
Number
yes,
two,
we all obviously
They
thought
thought
that
they
were
passed. Council spoke
So,
about
I
this
don't know.
last year on the dais, and they already knew what their plans were with regards to us not being ratified. And they already, because they spoke about putting only residents versus council
did?
members. Yes, they did.
I don't recall. I
They
went
did.
to every meeting and never heard
This
that.
was, okay, but maybe it was December of 17.
No, I've been
This
going
was
to every
last year.
meeting for,
Yes, because no one on
To look
council
at the
wanted to
minutes.
see it.
yeah, I'll check the
Do you
minutes.
remember that?
No.
check the
I'm
minutes.
surprised, yeah, they said, Debbie said, who on council can we put on the library board because there were two, council persons. There was no interest. She goes, that's fine, we'll change policy and we'll just make it residents.
Well, a statement that she made, was it agreed upon by the council? I don't ever remember hearing
It's not
that.
challenged.
Well, I don't think it was voted
I don't
on.
think it was
No,
voted on, it was just something that she floated out there.
But can we just do, well, it might have been
Was
just
it
like a
motion?
remark.
Was it brought up as a motion?
No,
Yeah.
it was not. It was just a remark.
I didn't say it was a motion. I didn't say it was a
Because
motion.
I didn't hear any
So that didn't
discussion.
get approved.
It was a discussion,
Gotcha.
and so the plan was that we are going to eliminate, the council.
Well, you know what,
Well, regardless.
I see it as like right down the middle. If we want a council person on here, then we should make our desires known to the council when they're looking to put somebody on there. However, if you say 2 council people have to be on here, then because I know that there were 3 letters of intent sitting in that office and nobody paid attention to them. And one of the old council people from the dais said, well, it's a shame that we have to appoint council people because the citizenry don't want to be on the council. And I knew myself that was like, that's not true because I'm waiting to, so
Sounds like a lack of communication.
Well, who would hold, did you have those letters, or was that something sitting at the
no,
borough
I
hall?
don't see that.
So the manager didn't take a look at those letters of intent? They just sat on them?
Letters for what?
Letters of intent?
They were in the
Requesting
office.
to join the board.
Asking to.
You're saying they were just kind of just sitting there and nobody
How long ago
paid?
was this?
Yeah.
How long ago was this?
Dottie was here, it was a long time ago.
You mean
That was a while ago.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a while ago.
But I personally like the open-endedness of there doesn't have to be, but there can be.
Right, I like that too.
And,
Because it doesn't seem like any other board has a council member on it. I mean, they're stretched so far as it is. I don't know
but
if they're-
again, like what Nancy said was, we would wait for 3 years to get something fixed here.
Right.
No, it's definitely an advantage.
It was an advantage when they were on.
And I mean,
It shouldn't be that way though.
Immediate.
It shouldn't be that way at all.
It's true, but it did help to have council members take the
Right.
problem right down and
But-
get it resolved.
But I wonder if that's really going to be necessary now.
Why
I
would
don't
it be?
know, because there's different people on council.
And there's a different manager.
A different manager.
Different,
I'm home during the day.
I don't
can go
know.
down and
I
bother
mean,
them, and I'm okay, I'm very good at it.
I don't know, I don't know. But what I did know is when we had council, they listened to council.
Okay.
That's all I can say.
Right,
because
but
it
we're
got
dealing
done.
with a different council now, so whatever
That's the
happens.
unknown and who knows.
Right, so that's what I'm saying, we can't
So-
rely on the old council because they're not
I was just bringing
here
up an
to go
I
to
was
them.
just bringing up an advantage of having them on our board,
Okay,
and it worked.
And with regards to some of the other committees, council like, for instance, like zoning, we can't be on zoning.
Right.
Environmental, there was people from council, but they're no longer on council anymore, so.
Gotcha.
It's, you know.
Well, I have high hopes because we had, what's the opposite of heat in the office? We had no heat in the office. Dawn and I would sit there with gloves.
Oh, wow.
And I had a meeting with Scott, which was, it had to have been a year ago or so. But he said, what do you need?
God hasn't only been there 6 or 8 months.
Okay,
Yeah,
it
at the beginning of the year.
hasn't been a year then.
Yeah,
The
he's
beginning
only,
of the year,
he was appointed in
Winter of this year.
January.
yeah.
And I let him know that, you know, really, we didn't have a window behind my desk. We had a piece of plexiglass that blew with every storm. And this is the first, and he got right on the phone, got to John Leader. John Leader sent somebody here, and it's pretty comfortable in the winter now up there, isn't it?
It's tough for an old
let's hope
building,
so.
but still, yeah.
We'll find
You'll
out.
see, won't you?
I mean, I remember that there was a distinct difference, and my sister was saying, Diane, you're gonna come, you know, and this was 3 or 4 years it was like this. So I think, you know, the fact that Scott seems to have a handle on listening
I don't know
to
why it
people.
was- I mean, they tried to fix it a few times, but it just, I know John was down there, but,
They didn't try to fix that window. They didn't.
well, they can't replace it, right? It's an
Right,
odd- It's an
right.
odd
They
size.
can't.
I don't know what they did
No,
with it,
it can't,
They
no.
can't replace it.
but, yeah.
And it can't be repaired? I don't
Oh, the window's
understand
not
that.
there anymore, it's just a piece of plexiglass. It's a-
Yeah, but there's no more, but it must be sealed, because there's no more
Maybe he
wind
sealed it up
and-
with caulk or something, or,
Yeah. So
yeah, as long as you don't have a draft, that's good.
I'm hopeful, and I'm older, and I'm louder, and I'm grumpier. So, yeah. So,
That happens after 40, you know?
oh,
So,
way after 40.
the current bylaws we're working under the 1998, is that correct?
Mhm.
Okay.
Was there anything in particular you wanted to discuss with the bylaws?
I just wanted to make sure everybody read them. I wanted to let you know that we definitely don't follow them, and I take responsibility for that. But, you know, new year, new faces, new,
Right, so, could, we did a lot of work on those bylaws, those years that it did not get. Could we take those out and resubmit them to the council?
well, I have copies. I can email copies of the 2014 to everybody. But then you have to really, but then what you're saying is, we want to make it a law that the council has to,
You can revise it. I mean, I think that there's a lot of good stuff in the
In fact, we said revise, it said revise at the bottom.
Yeah.
mean,
I didn't see a whole lot of difference between the old ones and the new ones, except for how the council was assigned people. I'll tell you what, if we're going to look at that, I think that, I mean, I don't know who's being assigned on the board until their face shows up in front of me. And I think that's rude. I think if they're going to have, I think I should be there to at least tell that person who's applying what their duties are, you know, what their responsibilities are. It's not my decision whether they're on the board or not, it is the council's decision. But I remember, and again, this was long time ago, and one of the council people who, Terry, you know how long ago, he said, we have a great person for you on the board, and they did. But I'm like, well, where was I? Why couldn't I have talked to that person? It's rude. You know, and I don't think it's done out of spite or out of meanness. It's just a lack of communication.
Something you can address in the future bylaws, right?
Or have
That's
like
something you can address
have a
with
meet and
future
greet
bylaws.
for
I don't see why that, yeah, just ask him to please let me in on reviewing, interviewing, whatever. Because when I submitted my letter, I had to have a discussion, sit down.
Yeah.
And so being included would not have bothered me at all.
No.
But I don't know if they realized that you were interested in
Well,
that.
I've said it many
She
times.
was, she
I-
had talked to Scott about it.
Okay.
And
She
I've
did,
talked to
and-
the other borough managers and the other borough councils. And like I said, I don't think it's a vendetta. I just think it goes in one ear and out the other. I know upstairs, I am so busy, and I have people around me that remind me, you have to do this, you have to do this, or, yeah, I wouldn't.
So, I mean, you're going to email a copy of the 2014s to everybody? Okay.
Okay.
The one that says revise.
So I just want to keep us on
So
focus
everybody
here.
can take a look at that.
That's why we're talking about the bylaws. Anything else that people want to talk about
About the bylaws?
regarding the bylaws, yeah?
Well, we can't until we find the 2014.
I think we should look at both of them and see which one we want to keep and not keep for.
You have to compare them.
So we get the
Yeah, but not everybody has a
2014.
copy, yeah, so
Oh,
maybe.
I'm gonna email them.
Get the
Yeah.
copy.
So that will be a point on the next meeting?
I think so.
Okay, so at the next meeting, are we going to hash out the bylaws? Or are you going to have a committee to
Well,
do
I
the
just wanna
bylaws and then come to the board? Like, how are we going to
It
work?
took
Well,
us
it's a small-
many meetings to hash out what we had.
Many
before.
meetings
So you're going to do
before.
it as the whole board as opposed
That's
to
what
the
we did last
committee?
time, yeah.
Okay.
Well, you have to decide whether you want to do it
We even have
first, once you
special
see.
meetings
Well, we have to
for-
see what's in the other ones,
Yeah.
see what
Right,
any
okay.
differences are.
So Diane, make sure that you put bylaws on the next meeting.
Listen,
As a point of discussion.
Yeah, those policies you were talking about. It's
The
a
meeting room
behavior
the
policy,
behavior
and what was
policy.
the other
I have them
policy?
at home, I can send them to you.
Yeah, okay.
Behavior and what?
Meeting room. Because we haven't used this room as a meeting room because that was a lot of problems back when I first started.
We're
And that was one of the
not
reasons
ADA,
why,
we're not, yeah.
right, because we're not handicap
But
accessible.
we're here and I'm handicapped, so.
I know, but it's the law, the way the law is written and the
It's
rules.
a federal
we're not-
law.
Because you have to go up steps to get to the bathroom.
Right,
So we're
right.
not.
But you
And so the
volunteer.
only thing that we were able to come up with as far as being, meeting the regulations was that we had to have meetings when the library was open and somebody could go up and around and go in upstairs
Come down on
or
the-
that way, wherever it is. And there's
The lift's
a-
over here,
and
yeah.
go in that way and use
Yeah,
the
which is
bathroom
broken.
upstairs, which is really inconvenient, and also
it
the
is.
library,
It's
the library has
It's
to be
different
open.
when it's a
And then we
rental
discussed
and
at length
there's
about
money
maybe trying to modify so that they could get in the bathroom, but it's not wide enough, the door's not big enough, there were a
And
lot of
there's no,
issues.
and we were
But
going
we came up with a kind of
Yeah.
regular, we wrote a policy that kind of addressed that, and then we submitted it to council, and it wasn't passed. Now, the big, I think, hurdle was really the handicap accessibility, and I get that. But it would have been nice to have, again, a council member here, to kind of help us weigh in on those things, and maybe even have some kind of response, or like even if they modified it and sent it back to us, or something. It would be
Okay, so,
really,
yeah,
really,
that's
really
water
nice
under
to
the
have.
bridge,
So-
but
No,
it
no,
still
no.
has to be addressed.
But yes, that has to be
Absolutely.
addressed because
Okay.
the room isn't being utilized as a meeting. And then there was also a behavior policy because something came down from Doylestown, like a list of kind of behaviors and what steps you take or something. You probably have a copy of it still. And so we thought that we should probably address the behavior policy, and so we wrote something up there, and that also.
because we've had some bad behavior upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
that
an
was-
absolute necessity,
Yeah.
because then if you don't have anything,
Right.
you have nothing to fall back
Yeah,
on.
you have
But
nothing
again,
to back it
you
up,
have to be
yeah.
in
We
compliance with what-
upstairs, I have a book that's this big with all our policies. I'm
Wow.
not about to copy it and email you.
No.
I know, but
If anybody wants to see it, they can,
the
Yeah, but
board.
these ones that I'm referring to were.
What we worked on
That we
recently.
worked on, were
Yeah.
sent, and nothing came back. So they're still existed. So what I'll do is I will send them again, and then you guys can
Disperse
do
it.
Okay,
whatever you want. They're words, so you can modify them or whatever you need to do.
good, it's a
But-
good,
We
good
just
start.
we did line by line.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, we had specific bylaw meetings that were away from the board meetings themselves because it was so intricate.
Yeah, that's what I meant, like if you're gonna have committees that have
We did.
meetings.
Well, we're so-
Well, we talked about
and-
having committees, and
We
we
just
decided
all
not to.
joined.
We thought we'd all work
We
together.
could all
Right,
work together
okay,
with
just-
it, so it was the board meeting for an additional.
A special meeting for
President
that.
calling a
Right.
bylaw meeting.
Okay.
And so it didn't bring any of the, you know, the meetings and the normal procedure that you follow, it's
So,
just
so
strictly on
that's,
bylaw.
so it's basically a working meeting just for that particular function. And then after that, then it comes to the board for the final vote? It's not gonna be,
Exactly.
okay, good.
When you say board, you mean council?
But that's council.
No, we all, well, we were all,
Well,
We
We have to
voted
vote.
on it. We did vote on it.
Right, okay, let me
We presented
digress.
it to council, and council did.
All right, what I'm digressing is that you said you had special meetings to
That's
talk
right.
all of
about,
us.
to talk about, but not everybody's gonna make all the meetings, is what I'm saying.
We did.
But you don't know that for the future,
Moving
so I
forward,
want to clarify that the working meeting just for the bylaws, once everybody's sort of like, okay, this is good, it's going to come to an official board meeting
Yeah.
to be voted on.
It
This
did.
is what we're presenting
We
to.
did.
Okay, well, I
Council.
didn't know that, that's
Yeah,
what I'm
it did.
asking.
Yes,
So
it's
for
what
the
I'm saying.
future,
We did do this, and we
Okay.
did gather, and it was voted on, and we came to what we thought it should be. When it was presented to council, it got held.
right, I'm not worried about that. What my concern here is if you're not at the meeting and Diane's
That
not at the
didn't
meeting.
happen.
Oh, if the board,
I-
the board does have to vote on it, yeah.
Understand that. What I'm saying is that you're working on it, but if 2 or 3 people can't come to a meeting, but you all come to like an agreement, this looks good, we're gonna go with it, it's not gonna be a decision that
It
night.
never has
No.
It
been.
never was,
Okay.
because
It
it was
never
brought in
has
front of the
been.
board in the meeting and then accepted in the minutes.
That's what I wanna know.
Yes.
Okay,
Perfect.
so anything that
Same
was
thing?
done in the bylaw meetings
Okay,
were voted on.
Perfect.
I see what you're saying now.
Gotcha.
They were voted
on,
on in
the
the
board meeting.
board meeting.
Perfect.
So it was documented.
That's what I wanted to know.
And then went to
Okay.
council and got kaput.
Well, I think
Well,
some-
regardless of that, I don't care about
Yeah,
that.
that's
You did
really
so
what
much work.
happened.
Just
You did
moving
amazing.
forward,
Yeah, I'm just moving forward, and whatever happened, happened. It's-
part of that was, as you said, it got lumped into 3 things that were being discussed, and since, I don't know.
And it got hung up.
I
and
really
just
thought,
kind of
I'm
stuck
not,
around.
I'm gonna go back and look, but I,
All
In
right,
the
so
minutes.
Okay,
any other
thank you.
discussion about bylaws?
No, I think that's it.
All right. I'm going to ask for a motion on this because there was quite a lot of good discussion, and I think that there was a note in there about which bylaws were acceptable, so I'm going to ask for a motion
what's the motion?
I don't know, what shall I make it?
I would- I
Accept
just-
that the
that
bylaws are the
would be-
1998 and that we need
The
to
current
revise.
bylaws, you mean that we're
To
currently.
be, to receive the updated 2014 bylaws.
Well, here's what I wrote. We
No.
discussed the current bylaws that are being used are from 1998. Discussion ensued regarding the ones from 2014. They were never ratified by council. Should we try to resubmit them?
And I
Question
think-
mark, Diane will email a copy of 2014 so we can
Okay.
discuss it.
So I think
Discuss
that
in
that's,
future meeting.
Yeah.
that's what we
All right.
should vote on.
That's good.
So that's the
That's
motion.
good.
All right, so anybody have,
I don't know if that's quite all of it, is it?
Yeah, at this
What else?
point,
What else
Yeah,
would you like
until
to
we
know?
have the 2014
Because you called
in
it
front of us.
2014
revision that was approved by
revision,
the
you're calling them
board.
bylaws, but they're not, so they're revised.
well,
Revised proposed
approved
bylaws.
by the
Right, that's
board.
what we did.
Revised bylaws?
Yeah.
Yeah,
revised bylaws?
Revised.
2014.
Somebody wants to propose?
we say the proposed,
The revised proposed
that are proposed for
bylaws
ratification,
that were
yeah,
approved by us.
but not council, yeah.
Somebody has.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Is that
then.
good?
Thank you.
That makes more sense,
Thank you.
yeah.
So are we all on
I
the
didn't
same
know we needed
page?
all that information in that, but.
So are we on the same page then?
Yes.
Okay, so may I have a motion?
I'm
And I'll second it.
Okay.
Audrey.
Audrey.
such a switch about being
All in favor?
specific.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. So we skipped ahead, so that's that. So this, just to be clear, please, items 5, 6, and 8. So 5 is the 2018 library board meetings and library closings.
They're just in this packet for you to keep and hold on.
FYI,
Oh,
yeah,
it's
Yeah.
just
Yep.
FYI, okay.
yep, got them.
All right? I don't think we need to vote on that, it's just on the agenda, so we'll move on to flyers.
Yep, there are upcoming events, and I threw in a advertisement for a fundraiser at Summer Seat.
These are cute, Diane.
Sue she's wonderful, isn't she? She did all of them.
Isn't there one this weekend too, over at the senior center?
Yeah.
She had a different one.
It's coming up, I don't know
I
when.
think it's next weekend, coming weekend.
This is the 25th and 26th.
So this is the
These are
25th?
right.
Yeah, it's right on.
Okay.
I have a question. How much is Summer Seat charging for renting these days?
500.
So is that coming out of the $30 that everybody's paying? Like where's the?
We're doing the fun, the lady is not renting it. We're the.
It's an in-house fundraiser.
It's an in-house fundraiser, and she's not charging
Oh,
us.
it's a summer seat fundraiser.
It's not, has nothing to do with the library.
Okay, you just put it in.
I just threw it in there.
Because the senior center also having a paint party.
I think it's this weekend. I'm pretty sure.
They're so much fun. They really are.
Sip coffee. Yeah, we had one at my work, at my office, we had a paint and sip with coffee.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
It's a good idea.
They were
That's a
doing
good
all this
idea.
major construction and it was like really, like nobody could work, so to kind of, anyway.
Definitely want to go. I love these
Okay,
painting
so
things.
that's the flyers. So that's all that's on the agenda, but before I close the meeting out, I would like somebody to, or like everybody to discuss who's going to run the meeting next month because I will not be here. Based on bylaws as we understood them to be, without the president, the vice president would run it, and so you all need to figure out what you're going to do.
I think
before
we need
close
to
the meeting.
vote on all the president,
You can't-
vice
you can't-
president,
All
treasurer.
right?
What I would like to see before we do that is the 2014 bylaws.
Yeah.
That's my personal choice.
Why? Can you tell me?
Because to see what the updated laws are, and so everybody is on the same page. We've got new members, and I think everybody deserves that right.
Yeah.
They still have somebody running the meeting now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, I understand your point, because I had noticed that in one of the sets of bylaws, it said president, vice president, secretary, treasurer. Robert's rules only requires 3. But you have the option to do additional to the vice president, things of that nature. So you're right, it would be nice to talk it over and decide which one is going to be adopted, and then, do the selection. Yeah, president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. So, I mean, unless you do an interim.
I would say a temporary until,
Yeah, I mean, that's done also. So whatever, I'm okay with either one, so there you go. Whatever you want to do.
Well, we need a president. We need
Well, I
somebody.
think the discussion is that you'll figure those things out later, but in the meantime, let's have an interim.
an interim
To
president.
run, an interim president to run the meeting until you decide which bylaws you're going to accept, and then you can reassign those positions
Exactly.
at
Right.
that time. So who will be the interim? And I don't want to close this meeting out without having some interim decided to run the meeting next month, because then you guys will come here and say who's doing what.
Yeah.
So I nominate Rachel.
Are you willing, Rachel?
So you were sitting really quiet, and it didn't work.
For one meeting,
yes.
One meeting. So Rachel.
I'll help you.
Willing, that's lovely.
Thank you.
Rachel, I think you'll do wonderful.
Well, thank you.
Okay, so that's
Okay,
settled.
and Rachel accepts.
Should we have a motion on that, please?
I move that Rachel be our interim president for the October 8th.
Should we be that specific if
Yes.
something runs into?
Okay.
Wait, I mean, if we have a hurricane on October 8th or something?
For the next.
As if we have a hurricane on October 8th, we might,
Next time,
Until, maybe make it until we
Thank
vote
you.
on minutes or however you
Bylaws.
word it.
or do
Like,
we
until
vote on the
such-
bylaws?
Until
Right,
such time,
until whatever.
until
So
such
it could
time.
be 2 meetings, but,
Because apparently there's going to be at least 2 more board members coming on,
Hopefully,
right?
exactly. So
hopefully.
they should be-
We got to get that advertised
Yeah.
right away.
so.
Because your term's not really up until January.
Right, but I was
Right.
So it's the end of-
No.
yeah,
Mine
so-
is up actually officially,
March.
they ended
Yeah.
March
Ninth.
1st.
Okay.
19.
So there would be, there's usually meetings in January and
Yes, in
February.
February. So I think it should just say until such time a new permanent board is voted.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, she's already.
Look at it, now she's doing the math.
Every minute, Rachel, it gets
That's
longer.
longer than she committed to, because is the
Especially because my term's up in
December.
December, and I don't know, because with everything with the school,
You
I
don't
just got a
know
new
if
job.
you're-
Yeah, but
I don't want to.
terms turn over March.
All right, so.
No, Rachel's
May I have
December.
a motion on that as we stated it?
I'll stay till March.
Do we
Oh, you said the first, do we have a second?
You know, we're-
I'll second.
I do, I got full-time now.
Right.
Meeting.
So all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay.
So Rachel.
Thank you,
So
Rachel.
may I have, I think at this point, can I have a motion to close the meeting?
Yes.
Second, please? I'm sorry.
Second.
Oh, any other business? I'm sorry.
Yes,
Oh,
yes, I have
Please
one more.
forgive me.
okay.
You'll find this in the packets.
Yes,
Yeah, I saw that.
And, brainstorm with yourself. And if you feel like sharing the next meeting or at a time when we have, because I think that the board needs to be much more active in terms of what goes on with fundraisers, with library programs, with any kind of hands-on thing that you can think of. Okay?
Yeah, and before we close the meeting,
And you're all
I would like
talented.
to give a special thank you to Judy.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
put tremendous work into this library. Unbelievable research. I can't thank you enough.
Well, thank you
And
very
you were
much. It was
it
a
was a
pleasure to work
pleasure
with
serving
everybody
you.
these past few years. I'm sorry that I have to leave.
I am too.
But my responsibilities, I don't know if you know, but I got this promotion in June. I'm now the undergraduate program administrator
Not in the history.
in the history department, but and it's just, it's really overwhelming. We have 150 students and it's just more than, I don't have time to devote to this anymore. And so I'm sorry, I'm gonna miss you all.
I will miss you.
But thank you for the honor of being part of the
No, you
board.
did a wonderful job. Thank you, Judy.
All right, so any other business?
No, I just have a couple of questions when you talk about what would I like to see the Morrisville Library accomplish in the future. I guess my question might be a little late, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Typically, September is sign up for a library card. That's a national kind of thing. Is that happening here? Do we do that? And what are requirements for, let's say, a 13-year-old walking in and wanting a library card that just moved into town? Like, what are the guidelines? I didn't see anything online looking to see how do you sign up for a library card? What do you have to bring? What does that mean for a teenager? Do they have to bring a parent? I guess a 7-year-old would, but what about a 13-year-old?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do we do in that particular situation?
What's the
To
cutoff?
get more people in the library?
What's the cut? Was it 12?
No, what we usually did until 16, they would have to come in with a parent. But it also, sometimes it'll be, if the kid says, I can't bring a parent in,
Right.
then, we ask if they have a school ID.
Oh,
And
okay.
if they have a school ID, then we'll give them a card.
Okay.
Oh, that's fair.
To know that they actually.
So they do give out school IDs? I didn't know, because I don't
yeah.
have kids in the...
Yeah.
Yeah, my kids are grown, so I don't know. All right. All right, so will there ever be a time where we're going to promote sign up for a library card to get kids in? Because that's the age that they like to volunteer
Well,
and get
Sue does a
involved?
lot of that with her outreach.
Okay.
Going to the schools and sending flyers out and things like that. Yeah.
The kids will sign their applications and the teachers will bring them in and Sue will process them.
Okay.
That's
A
good.
lot of what we do, again, we follow the county, the county's systems, yeah.
Okay, yeah. See, I'm not familiar with that, so thank you.
All right, any other business? All right, then I guess I make a motion to close the meeting. May I have?
All right.
Second. We all seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right.
None.
Formally adjourned.
Thank you very much.
More laundry.
Dan, this is the letter I'm going to have it so you can give it to another member and save your materials.
Thank you.